Hello, it's day 11 of 365 days of daily posting videos. And the video that I post each day is something that is just on the top of my mind, something that's relevant to the collective, based off of maybe information I got in a meditation. Maybe I've channeled something from the collective or the earth that needs to be spoken. But oftentimes what I talk about is really just inspired by a conversation I had with one of my clients or something that I'm personally experiencing or reflecting on. So this channel exists as a resource for you to help you with whatever you could be going through. I offer a lot of different things on my channel. Some of it is just practical ways that you can show up to yourself and develop self-trust, self-loyalty. I'm always talking about those things, essentially self-care tips and motivation. Some of my channel is completely exercise related because I came from a fitness world and was an athlete for a long time. And for a while, I was making these videos for my clients who I programmed workouts for. Now that my repertoire or my, I should say, clientele has expanded to include people who are also interested in just developing themselves from the inside and working on their shadow, their ego, self-care practices, like patterns that they are either struggling with or working to adopt. And a lot of my clients are also interested in becoming more routines oriented because they want to accomplish things. They might be sensitive or very creative people, but they have a hard time doing the day-to-day work that oftentimes I think is lacking when you are a sensitive person who is really taken by your emotions or by the chaos that you feel inside of yourself. So anyways, that's all of what my channel is about. Hopefully you followed that train of thought. And today, for the video of the day, I wanted to talk about how workouts are so much more than just changing your body. And in fact, I think that when we do workouts to change our body, we're really coming from an unhealthy place, a place of not being in touch with our body. I don't think it's wrong to want to change the way you look or to desire less body fat or more muscle mass or to just be overall more in shape. I think those are great things to want for yourself, but if those desires are missing the underlying reason, which in my opinion should be to be a healthy person and to give your body what it deserves, then a lot of times consistency falls off and motivation dies, and frankly it's not worth showing up to the gym when all you want from that, the only outcome you want from showing up to the gym and doing workouts is to look a different way. The reason why I think that motivation is really hard to keep up is it's coming from a place of I'm not enough. And the outcome might be the same. Let's say someone is unhappy with their body and they want to look more attractive to themselves because they see that if they are more attractive to themselves, they're going to be more confident. And you have that person going to the gym. But then you also have the person who also wants to look more attractive to themselves, but they're doing it because they know that they deserve a better life, that their body needs more health, that if they keep going down the route that they're going, they're going to end up with illnesses and disease. Then those two people might be going to the same gym doing the exact same exercises, but my belief is that the person who is doing it for their own self-love and self-worth and to give their body what their body needs to be healthy and to not have disease but to be in wellness, that person's going to be able to motivate themselves a lot easier than the person who is doing it for the external outcome. And like I said, I don't think it's wrong to have external goals, but I just don't think that they are as easy to fuel when motivation dies. And everyone, has heard of the saying probably that motivation is hard to come by. People say, no, this is the quote. Hold on. Erase what I just said. This is the quote. People say that motivation will not last. So it's like someone's all excited to go to the gym and it's 3 weeks in and they're really pumped about the gym, and they have their friends or their family talking trash on them and saying, your motivation won't last. You're just all excited because it's something new. Well, that's what this quote is saying. It says, people say motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does taking a shower. That's why we recommend it daily. So we all have heard probably that saying or something like it. And it's just pointing out to the fact that motivation doesn't last. People get excited when something's new. People, when they're starry-eyed, when there's something fresh and exciting happening, and excitement always dwindles. Excitement always will wear out. That's why it's your responsibility to motivate yourself on a daily basis or regularly. And so the person who has a deep-seated reason for why they're going to the gym is going to be able to reinvigorate their motivation a lot easier than the person who says, I just need to look hot, I need to get better, I don't look the way I want to look. Well, that all may be true, but you have to go deeper. You have to understand the life consequences that will happen if you do or if you don't. You have to understand that you are worthy of having a high quality life just like everybody else is. And what are the things that you need to do to give yourself what you deserve? Well, the gym might be part of that plan, and it goes much deeper. It's how you talk to yourself. It's how much water you drink each day. It's the decisions you make. It's who you surround yourself by. So all in all, the habit of going to the gym, I need to take a break. The habit of going to the gym should be a lifestyle, and it should be aligned to the life you want for yourself, because you are learning to love yourself in a deeper way, and you're learning to give yourself the things you need to thrive. All right, I hope that helps. I hope that's a motivating speech. I had something else I wanted to say, but one more thing, I guess. There is something that came to mind. I've also heard that people who, there's like a quote or sayings out there, like, people who work out consistently aren't motivated, they're disciplined. I do think that there's truth in that, but there's one key piece missing, is how do you become disciplined? How do you become disciplined and show up to the gym and do that for yourself and do other things for yourself, feed yourself properly, put yourself to bed on time, talk to yourself kindly? All of that takes discipline. So how do you develop discipline? How do you become the person who looks like they're always motivated on the outside to everyone else, but they have actually worked hard to become that person, and they've done it consistently over time? Well, that's what my coaching falls into. It's the how of how someone becomes disciplined, not just, oh, you need to be disciplined, you need to be disciplined, you need to be disciplined. That's all great, we know that, but how do you train yourself to become a disciplined person when you haven't been loyal to yourself, when you haven't had the habits that support you, or you haven't had someone model that to you, or you've just gone through a really tough time and you've kind of lost yourself? How do you develop the self-loyalty, the discipline? That's where I feel the heart of my coaching really is. It's the how. And it's so multifaceted. There's so many different ways that you become self-disciplined, and one of the ways is awareness, being aware of how you talk to yourself, being aware of when you betray yourself versus when you do something that's like advocating for your self-worth or taking care of yourself. So awareness is part of how you develop discipline. Using a calendar is another way of how you develop discipline. Being easy on yourself, not beating yourself up, not giving yourself huge expectations that only lead to disappointment and negative self-talk when you don't meet those expectations. So being realistic with the one thing you're going to do this week, the one thing you're going to do this day, the one accomplishment you want to do this month. There's that. There's knowing yourself on the level of the ego, the personality, the shadow, really understanding your conditioned patterns. How did you develop these patterns that are limiting you now? Where did they come from? And seeing how they formed in childhood and the kind of effect they're having on you today, and being really realistic with that. Again, just seeing it for what it is, not letting your shadow define you or your ego define you. They go hand in hand, but understanding that you've developed patterns and conditioned responses based off of trauma, which is essentially just something affected your true self in a way that made it so you developed a shell or conditioned response to protect you, right? That's essentially what trauma is. It's just you're wearing some kind of shell to protect you from a threat. And seeing what those patterns are and learning how to heal them and how to notice them, again, awareness, is also how you develop self-discipline. Another way of developing self-discipline to me is just having really practical tools. Like I talk about this in my class, Building a Body Practice. You have to have tools that help you motivate yourself. You're not just gonna all of a sudden say, okay, now I'm motivated, I'm gonna change my mind and do the thing I know I should do. But it's what tools get you in the right frame of mind. There's some really practical tools that I talk about and that I suggest. One of them is music, using music to your advantage. But there's so many ways to develop discipline, and I just wanted to point out that discipline to me is self-loyalty. It's doing something for your future self that you know will help you in the end, and you do it in the moment even when you don't feel like it, because you know it's better for you. You know it's best. That's being a self advocate. That's being loyal to yourself. That's how you develop discipline. It's not just about being a rigid person who follows the rules. It's about, I mean, that's not what discipline is, but I think it gets that, like, kind of, it has that connotation. It's not about being rigid and following rules. It's about being loyal to yourself and doing the right action. And you know what the right action is when you sense it in your body, when you're in a calm state and you dream about how you want life to be, and for a moment you have clarity about the sort of things you would have to do to create the life that you want for yourself. In that moment of clarity, you have a sense of right action. I need to do this. I need to not worry about this and do that instead. That is being in tune with what's right for you, and then self-loyalty is doing the thing. When you do the thing over and over and over that's right for you, that repetition of choosing the right thing that's nurturing to yourself and benefiting your future, that repetition of doing that is what develops discipline. But there's so many tools that are out there that are meant to help you be consistent. So when it comes to going to the gym and doing your workouts, I hope that you can dig deep and really understand why it is you're doing them in the first place, and make sure that it's connected to a sense of self-care and self-love and worthiness. See you tomorrow. Bye.